Hello everyone. I am Dr. Sugita, Associate Professor of Political Science. This lecture is an introduction to the Constitution of India. Regarding learning objectives, upon completion of this lesson, students will be able to explain what is Constitution, to describe the functions of the Constitution, and the students will acquaint with the making of the Indian Constitution. Now we are going to know about what is Constitution. What is meant by a Constitution? Constitution is a compact document that comprises a number of articles about the state. State means country, every country, specifying how the state is to be constituted and what norms it should follow. Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. Every country has its own constitution. We have to understand the necessity of the constitution first. That means we have to know the functions of the constitution. Imagine yourself to be a member of a large group. That group has different characteristics. The members are diverse in various ways. Some are rich and some are poor. Some are old, some are young, some are Hindus, some are Muslims, some Christians, and they are also varied in many different respects. They pursue different professions, have different abilities, have different hobbies. And imagine that members of this group are likely to have disputes over various aspects of life. But with all their diversity, this group has to live together. They are dependent upon each other in various ways. They require the cooperation of each other. What will enable the group to live together peacefully? Perhaps members of this group can live together if they can agree on some basic rules. So, the first function of a constitution is to provide a set of basic rules for minimal coordination amongst members of a society. So, a constitution is a body of fundamental principles according to which a state is constituted or governed. But you will have to decide what the laws governing the society. What the laws governing the society should be. Who gets to decide it? You may want rule X, but others may want rule Y. You may think your rules are the best, but others think that their rules are the best. How do we resolve this dispute? So, even before you decide what rules should govern this group, you have to decide who gets to decide. The constitution has to provide an answer to this question. So, the second function of a constitution is to specify who has the power to make decision in a society and to decide how the government will be constituted. But this is not enough. Suppose you decided who had the authority to make decisions. But if that authority make unfair and unjust laws, what to do? For instance, it may prohibit you from practicing your religion, or you are not free to sing certain songs, or people would not be allowed to retain any property, or government could arbitrarily arrest someone. You would obviously think these laws were unjust and unfair. So, the third function of the constitution is to set some limits on what a government can impose on its citizens. These limits are fundamental in the sense that government may never trespass them. Societies with deep entrenched inequalities of various kinds will not only have to set limits on the power of government, They will also have to enable and empower the government to take positive measures to overcome forms of inequality or deprivation. For example, India aspires to be a society that is free of caste discrimination. If there is our society's aspiration, the government will have to be enabled or empowered to take all the necessary steps to achieve this goal. So, another function of the Constitution is to enable the government to fulfill the aspirations of a society and create conditions for a just society. So far, we discussed about what is a constitution and some of the functions of a constitution. Now, we are going to discuss about making of the Indian Constitution. The demand that India's political destiny should be determined by the Indians themselves had been put forward by Gandhiji as early as in 1922. This demand was re-emphasized by the Working Committee of the Indian National Congress in 1939, but the demand was resisted by the British government until the outbreak of Second World War. But then external circumstances forced them to realize the urgency of solving the Indian constitutional problem. Realizing the urgency of solving the Indian constitutional problem, the government in England sent Sir Stafford Cripps, a member of the cabinet, with a draft declaration. They were to be adopted at the end of the Second World War, provided the two major political parties, that Indian National Congress and the Muslim League, could come to an agreement to accept them. Regarding the proposal, first one, the Constitution of India was to be framed by an elected Constituent Assembly of the Indian people. Secondly, the Constitution should give India dominion status. Likewise, they proposed some draft. But the two parties failed to come to an agreement to accept the proposals. So, the Cripps mission was failed. Finally, a cabinet mission was sent to India. The cabinet mission consisting of 3 members. They were Lord Patrick Lawrence, Sir Stafford Cripps, and A.V. Alexander. They arrived in India on March 24, 1946. The cabinet mission published its plan on May 16, 1946. While it rejected the idea of 2 constituent assemblies, it put forth a scheme for the Constituent Assembly which more or less satisfied all the leaders. The Constituent Assembly was constituted in November 1946 under the scheme formulated by the Cabinet Mission Plan. The Constituent Assembly was to be a partly elected and partly nominated body. Moreover, the members were to be indirectly elected by the members of the provincial assemblies. Although the Constituent Assembly was not directly elected by the people of India, the assembly comprised representatives of all sections of Indian society: Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Parsis, Anglo-Indians, Indian Christians, SCs, STs, including women of all these sections. The assembly included all important personalities of India at that time, except Mahatma Gandhi and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. The Constituent Assembly held its first meeting on December 9, 1946. The Muslim League boycotted the meeting and insisted on a separate state of Pakistan. Regarding composition of the Constituent Assembly, the total strength of the Constituent Assembly was to be 389. Among 389 seats, 296 were allotted for British India, 93 were allotted for princely states. Among the 296 seats, 292 from governors' provinces and 4 members from Chief Commissioners' provinces. Regarding working of the Constituent Assembly, As the Muslim League boycotted its first meeting held on 9th December 1946, it was attended by 211 members only. Dr. Sachidanand Sinha, the oldest member, was elected as the temporary president of the assembly. Then later, on December 11, 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad and H.C. Mukherjee were elected as the president and vice president of the Constituent Assembly respectively. Sir B.N. Rao was appointed as the constitutional advisor. Then, in the Constituent Assembly, there were 8 major committees and other minor committees. Regarding committees of Constituent Assembly, we are going to see about major committees. First one, Drafting Committee. Its chairman was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Union Powers Committee has its chairman Jawaharlal Nehru. Union Constitution Committee, its chairman was Jawaharlal Nehru. Fourth one, Provincial Constitution Committee, its chairman was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Advisory Committee on Fundamental Rights, Minorities, Tribal and Excluded Areas, its chairman was Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Rules of Procedure Committee, its chairman was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. States Committee, its chairman was Jawaharlal Nehru. Then last one, Steering Committee, its chairman was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Among all those committees, Drafting Committee was the most important committee. It was set up on August 29, 1947. It was entrusted with the task of preparing a draft of the new constitution. It consisted of 7 members. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was its chairman, as I already told you. Then other members are N. Gopalswamy Iyengar, Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, Dr. K.M. Munshi, Syed Muhammad Sadullah, N. Madhavarao, T.T. Krishnamachari. After taking into consideration the proposals of the various committees the Drafting Committee prepared the first draft of the Constitution of India, and it was published in February 1948. The people of India were given 8 months to discuss the draft and propose amendment. The second draft was published in October 1948. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar introduced the final draft of the Constitution in the Constituent Assembly on November 4, 1948. After the detailed discussion in the Constituent Assembly, the draft Constitution was declared as passed on November 26, 1949. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the chief architect of the Constitution of India, and naturally he was recognized as the father of the Constitution of India. Regarding enactment of the Constitution, in all, the Constituent Assembly had 11 sessions over 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. The Constitution makers had gone through the constitutions of about 60 countries, and the draft Constitution was considered for 114 days. The Constitution of India was adopted on November 26, 1949. It contained a preamble, 395 articles and 8 schedules. The Constitution came into force on 26th January 1950. This day is celebrated as Republic Day every year. Thank you very much, viewers. We will meet again soon